welcome to episode 45 of the Graceful Tangle podcast. I'm Amy Kate, a young but passionate knitter and crocheter. You can find all of the links to my various social media platforms in the description box below, so be sure to check that out. And if you haven't already, I would love it if you took the time to subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you don't miss out on any future videos. I am super excited to be back with you guys with another podcast episode. I have quite a few things to talk about per usual. I have some finished objects, a good bit of works in progress, and some really awesome designs that I am working on. I also have Reba, which is our sweet little kitty, on my bed right behind the camera, so I might have to stop and let her out at some point, but right now she is just chilling out, and that is so rare, so I'm so glad. Anyway, with that, let's go ahead and jump into some finished objects. Alrighty, so I do have a couple of finished objects to talk with you guys about today. The first is my Mountain Mama DK socks. So these are a test knit that I did for Emma of Bloom Create, who is the designer of this pattern. And I knit the first one a while back during the duration of that test. But I held off on waiting the second one. We were only required to knit one for the test, and I was kind of bogged down with a whole bunch of other things. And so I decided to just stop at the one. It wasn't my original plan, but it's totally okay that it worked out that way. Anyway, I finally found the time to knit the second one, and I am so in love with these socks. Oh my goodness. They are hands down one of my favorite things I have ever made, period. I just love the yarn that I used, the combination of the yarn and the stitch pattern. But yeah, I love them so much. So here is what they look like. I used Knit Picks Stroll for the main color, and now Reba wants out. Hold please. I just knew that was going to happen. But anyway, so for these socks, I used 3 different yarn lines from Knit Picks. I used Knit Picks Stroll for the base, and I held that double to achieve gauge. And then for the contrasting color, I used 1 strand of twill fingering in the Rose Water Heather color, I think is what it's called. And then 1 strand of a loft in, I think, silver or pearl or something like that. But anyway, these are just so beautiful. I love them so much. I actually wore them yesterday, and they're so cozy. They are so warm and cozy. We have a little bit of a cold front in Alabama, and these have just been so fun to wear. So, really, really love these socks. I'm so happy that they are done. I will definitely 100% be making another pair. It'll be a little bit, it might actually not be until fall when it actually gets cold again. But I love them so much. She also has a fingering weight version of these socks. So I might make those. Yeah, I might make those. I'm not entirely sure, but either way, I really love these, and I'm so happy that they are done. My next finished object, and my last finished object, is this shawl. So I recently updated my Breezy Eyelet shawl pattern. This is what it looks like. It is just a beautiful triangular shawl. Absolutely love the way that this turned out. I updated the pattern. You can now find it for free in my Ravelry shop, and I love it so much. Really, really happy with the way that this turned out. I used We Crochet Comfy Color Mist is the yarn in the colorway Dahlia. And I think it turned out so beautiful. I'll kind of show it slowly. I got a lovely email from somebody earlier this week, and she asked if I could slow down just a little bit in showing my projects so that y'all can really see them. I get way too excited way too quickly. This is like, I don't know, it's just kind of my chance to like really geek out and just talk about all these awesome projects. So anyway, I just get a little bit too excited. So I gotta go a little bit slower. But anyway, really love this shawl. This kind of has led me to wanting to create this pattern into a whole collection for summer. So I'm kind of working on that a little bit behind the scenes right now. This just turned out so good. And I'm so in love with the beautiful drape. You can kind of tell just from the way that it moves, and the way that it wears. I just love it so much. So definitely working on a couple of ideas on how I can grow this collection. My mom and actually were talking about it earlier because she had come in my room and saw this on my bed. And she said that it would be a beautiful summer cardigan. And so I think I'm going to have to kind of dive into that a little bit. I was also thinking that it could be a really gorgeous, like a kimono style cardigan, but at the same time be longer and not as wide. So like kind of traditionally kimonos are really wide, and then it can either be like long or just regular short length, and there's like a lot of positive ease, and sometimes they're seamed and sometimes they aren't. For this, I'm kind of thinking that it would be that same construction but a lot longer and narrower, so not as much positive ease, kind of like a long vest. Anyway, so I'm kind of thinking about that. I also have like a wrap idea. I don't know. Definitely want to glue this collection though, because I really love the way that this project turned out. Anyway, so that is it for finished objects. I was kind of hoping to get a couple of other things done, but it's okay that I didn't. It's been a really crazy week. Anyway, so yeah, that's all for finished objects. Let's go ahead and talk about a few works in progress. Alrighty, so I actually have more works in progress in design talk today than I do in just regular works in progress, which doesn't happen that often. But I do have a couple of things to show you. First off, I finished the first of my pair of March socks, and I love them so much. Oh my goodness, these are amazing. So this is the Morning Coffee Socks pattern by Kay of the Crazy Sock Lady. I've actually knit this pattern before in this same yarn line actually. This is Knit Picks Muse fingering, or like the sock weight version. They have two weights, and this is the sock weight version. Anyway, and I can't remember, I think the colorway is Dedication Speckle. Let me see if that's still in this project bag. Yes, it is. Yay! Yeah, the colorway is a Dedication Speckle. Here is the label if you are curious. So this yarn is 75% superwash merino wool, 25% nylon, 423 yards per 100 grams. So it's just a really beautiful traditional sock base. And I have finished the first sock. So these are knit with a heel flap and gusset. It's just a really simple broken rib stitch pattern. And yeah, I've had so much fun knitting these, and I'm really excited to knit the second one. I just finished this one yesterday, so I haven't started the second quite yet, but I will be doing that, and then I'm actually going to be knitting the entire sock this week so that I can get them done before March is over. I feel like it's kind of flown by. March has gone by so quick. I think I have school to blame for that. I have school to blame for a lot of things. But anyway, really love the way that these socks are turning out. They are a little bit longer than how I typically knit my socks. I don't really know why I did that. I think I just wanted to, I don't know, maybe experiment a little bit. I don't know why. Kay gives you a certain number of repeats to do in the pattern, and I always kind of ignore that, not to be, disrespectful or anything like that, but just to kind of, I know what I like, and so that's typically what I do. And that's how sock patterns are really designed to be, in my opinion at least. But I decided to increase the amount of repeats that I would typically do just a little bit, because I wanted to have a little bit more of this pattern on the leg, and I'm really glad that I did that. I still didn't do quite as many as she said to do. I am a short person, and so if I make my socks too long, it can have a tendency to look a little bit silly, because my legs are, shorter than somebody who is taller than me. Just the way life is. But anyway, really, really love these socks, and I am so eager to get them finished so that I can move on to April socks already. I can't believe it. I'm going to have to choose yarn for those here soon. But yeah, really, really love these. Yeah, and that's about it for those. I'm using size 1 2.25 millimeter needles, which is what I always use. And they're going great. I have this much yarn left, which is quite a bit. I actually should weigh this and see how much yarn I used, because this is a pretty long sock. And I'm curious to see how much yarn it used up. Anyway, really excited to start the second one of those here shortly. Very shortly, actually. Hopefully this evening. We'll see. Okay, and then my next work in progress, I can't really call it a work in progress anymore. This sweater. Okay, so I'm going to kind of, let's chat about this project for just a minute. So, the past few weeks, I have talked about the Stripes sweater by Andrea Mowry and how I was working on it using a bunch of different colors, Knit Picks, City Tweed, DK. Here is what one ball looks like. It was kind of, really, I wanted it to be like my St. Patrick's Day sweater. I wanted to have it done by then and wear it then, and it was kind of going to be like a gray, green, blue fade situation. So I started working on it. It was going fine. And last week I showed it on the podcast and I was getting it out and kind of talking about it, and I realized that the neckline was just so big. It was so wide. And I do not like wide necklines very much. What I'm wearing today is kind of how wide I like to go. I have some other shirts that go just a little bit wider than this, and I really like those as well. But other than that, that's about the extent of wide shirts that I like to wear. And particularly with hand knit sweaters, I like them to be closer to my neck, because if I wear a shirt under it or something like that, I don't want it to see. I personally don't like the look of a shirt under a sweater and being able to see it, at least not on me. I mean, I think it's super cute on other people, and I'm not, critiquing that in any way. I just don't really like that style on me personally. So I decided to rip out that sweater, and I have decided on another project, and it's actually what I was kind of originally thinking from the get-go, and then decided that I wanted to try the Stripes sweater. I'm still going to knit the Stripes sweater. I really, really want to, but I'm going to wait a little bit longer and pick a different yarn, a thinner yarn, and double and triple check gauge to make sure it matches. And yeah, I want to knit that sweater. I've been wanting to knit it for forever, but it just wasn't going to work out with the yarn and the needle size that I was using. So I'm moving on, and I don't have the pattern printed out yet, but I'm going to be knitting the, I think it's called Sand and Ocean. I had messed up the name of this pattern I tested it a while ago, and I have messed it up for forever. I think it's called the Sand and Ocean cardigan. I'm pretty sure that's right. Anyway, it is a cardigan pattern by Julie of Twin Stitches Designs, and I'm going to be using all of these colors. I can show you a few of them. I showed them a few episodes back. Anyway, so it's a big green fade, and I'm just going to color block it and use all of these colors, and it is going to be so beautiful. I'm really excited about it. I'm going to be starting it soon, and I will, of course, show it next week. I will hopefully have some more done. Obviously, it's not going to be done for St. Patrick's Day. It'll be done for St. Patrick's Day next year, but that was this past Wednesday, and so I'm definitely not going to wear it then, because that was in the past. But anyway, so kind of wanted to take a minute and share what was going on with that project. I knew as soon as I pulled it out of the bag when I was filming last week that it just wasn't going to work. I wasn't going to enjoy it. I wasn't going to like it if, and I was also worried anyway because my gauge was a little bit tight. And yeah, it's okay. It happens. It totally happens. And now I can just move on and start something new. So that is exactly what I'm going to do. I finally remembered to actually have some water by me so that I can take a sip in between showing y'all things instead of just suffering through the entire podcast with no water. Anyway, so I think that is it for actual normal works in progress from other people's patterns. I'm still working on the Dress Me Bunnies, if you remember those from last week, but I had zero time to work on them this week. Absolutely zero. It's okay, they have to be done a little over a week from now. So I will definitely be putting a lot of effort into those bunnies this week, and really early this week, and getting them completely finished. But other than that, that's about it. So now let's go ahead and hop into design talk, because I have quite a few things to share with you guys. Alrighty, so first up for design talk is the blanket that I am working on. So I have showed this for the last few episodes. I am using Cascade Yarns Cascade 220. This is their merino base. I'm using the worsted weight. It's just 100% merino wool. I believe this is the colorway Icelandic Blue. I've mentioned that every podcast I've been working on this. It doesn't have it on the label. Of course, it would be hilarious if it actually did have it on the label and I missed it for this long. But no, it doesn't. It doesn't have it on the label. I believe the colorway is called Icelandic Blue. But anyway, it is a really beautiful light blue color. And here it is so far. So I've done a little bit less than one full ball, I think, this week. My focus has definitely been on another design that I will show you in a second. But this is what it looks like. It is definitely growing. I actually need to remember to put a progress keeper in it this week. If I had one near me, I do. Let's go ahead and do that. That way I can accurately show you how much I've done in a week. Come next week. Let's go ahead and do that. Anyway, so this is a crochet blanket pattern that I am working on, and I am just loving it. It's been so fun to work on. It's really mindless, so it's perfect for working on during like watching TV or movies or something like that, working on it in the evening. It's been really nice. So I put that marker so that y'all can see how much I can get done in a week. And yeah, this is a pattern that I'll be releasing next month in April, probably towards the end of the month, I'm thinking. I'm trying, I've been spending some time this week kind of trying to line up releases for April, because there are quite a few that I have planned, and so I'm trying to figure out how I'm going to do all of that. But it is also a big school month. So anyway, this is the blanket so far, and I'm just having so much fun with it. It's beautiful. I love the stitch pattern. I think I'm going too fast again. But yeah, really love the way that this looks. I'm using a size 8 hook if you're curious. And yeah, stay tuned for this pattern because it is going to be coming out soon. And I am so stoked about it. It's going to be beautiful. Really looking forward to it. I have a couple swatches here if you want to see. It's been a little bit since I showed them. So here is what it's going to look like in the yarn, even though, I mean, you just saw it, but I'm talking like completely finished, but much bigger. This is what it's going to look like. And then this is the swatch, the original swatch that I did in a different yarn. So it's pretty crazy how different they look, even though the only difference is the yarn that I use. I use the same hook size and everything, it's just the yarn is a little bit different. So it's pretty crazy how different yarns can be, but that is the beauty of it, isn't it? Alrighty, my next design that I am working away on. So, you ready? I'm just going to say the name. The Bluegrass Socks. So, this is the sock pattern that I designed for my brother's birthday, which was earlier this month. It is now in testing, and it's going so well. I'm so grateful for my testers. They have been absolutely amazing. So many kinks in the pattern have already been worked out because of them, and I am just so excited to be able to bring this sock pattern into the world very soon. I am working on my own second pair. I'm not very far along. There's been a lot more kind of behind the scenes work on this pattern versus actually knitting it nowadays. But here is what my sock looks like so far. I have just started the legs, so you're really not going to get a good idea of what it looks like. But they're going really well, and I'm really enjoying them. And I'm so excited about this pattern. I cannot even tell you guys how happy I am. It's just been such a wonderful process. It's been challenging in a lot of ways, but it's been so fun. I'm so grateful for them, and I am so excited to bring this pattern out to you guys. I I just can't wait. This yarn, I don't think I have the label in here, which is super frustrating. Let me see if I put it in this bag just before I move on. Nope. I have completely forgotten what this is, but it'll be in the show notes. I will be sure to put it in the show notes, which you can find linked down below. But anyway, really, really excited about this, and I am definitely looking forward to working on those some more. Alrighty. So that is that project. Now, in line with designing that pair of socks, I have been working through the pattern and creating some sock tutorials to kind of walk you through the process. So as of right now, I'm not going to have a tutorial for like every single part of knitting socks. More so on just the things in my pattern that make it different from other sock patterns that are already out there. So I'm going to be releasing a tutorial on my personal favorite Afterthought heel. I'm also going to be releasing a technique tutorial on the Kitchener stitch. So those will be coming out soon. And along with those tutorials, I'm going to be releasing my own vanilla sock pattern recipe. So here is what one sock looks like. So this has my favorite Afterthought heel that I have kind of designed and come up with and kind of just put a lot of effort into making it how I really wanted it to be. And then I'm going to give you my favorite toe, the leg length that I do, and yeah. So this is going to be coming out very soon, before the bluegrass socks, but around like very close to that same time. I'm still working out the details, but basically I want my vanilla sock pattern to be out the same time the videos are, because I reference it a lot. So that's definitely the reasoning behind this pattern. But this is going to be a free pattern. It's going to be available in my Ravelry shop and on my blog, so you can check it out there in a little bit. It's not quite there yet, but yeah, it took me a very long time to kind of figure out exactly what I wanted to do in terms of tutorials, because it's something that I knew I wanted to do. I've gotten so many requests for filming these tutorials, but I just wasn't sure about the best way to go about it. And so I decided that the wisest thing to do would just be to write out my own vanilla sock pattern and then release it and use it as an example throughout the tutorials. So that is exactly what I have done. I have a lot of ideas on other ways to grow kind of the sock tutorial series. I have a lot of ideas. So yeah, just kind of working through those. If you have any specific suggestions on things that you would like to see, I would love for you to shoot me an email at thegracefultangle@gmail.com just to kind of let me know what you are particularly looking for, because I would love to be able to provide it. I know there's a lot of sock tutorials out there, but I also believe that we all have something unique to offer. And so that's exactly what I'm doing. You know, I'm not going to copy somebody else, because that is not morally correct. But I definitely want to put my own, you know, what I have learned and experienced through knitting socks. I want to put it out there, because for a long time I was so scared of knitting socks. And I don't want anybody else to feel that way, because they're not scary. It's just a matter of learning the ins and outs about knitting socks and getting that first pair under your belt. So yeah, stay tuned for that, because I am super, super excited to be releasing those soon. And yeah, I'm excited. I have so many ideas, and I am just kind of trying to form the time to be able to make them come into fruition. That's where I am right now. Anyway, in this drawing, if you're curious, this is Knit Pick Static, which is quite possibly my favorite sock yarn. And so I just knew that I had to kind of feature it in my own pattern. Anyway, this is Knit Pick Static. This is the color Boulder, I believe. I'll link it down below. Anyway, it's just really beautiful grays and blues. I think it's so pretty. I originally got it for this purpose, because I thought that it would be really nice to have a more neutral color for tutorial purposes. However, I will preface this by saying that I have lots of other yarns that I am definitely going to be filming tutorials with as well, so just thought I'd put that out there. Anyway, but this particular color is so unique because I feel like it would be so beautiful for men or women. I mean, obviously you can wear any color you want. Don't let me tell you what color to wear. But I feel like, you know, for like a husband and wife pair of socks or something along those lines, this would be a really good color to choose. So yeah, even though it's hilarious and silly, that's what I was thinking the entire time I was knitting this sock. So maybe I'll knit my own future husband a pair of socks out of this color. Hopefully he likes hand-knit socks. I don't know, I'm gonna have to really be picky. Anyway, really excited about this new venture, and I hope that you guys are too. So stay tuned for that. The last thing that I wanted to talk about for Design Talk today is some new yarn. So I'm going to be doing a collaboration with a local indie dyer. Let me get all of these colors. So this is yarn by Koi-Fish Fibers, which is a local Alabama company to me. She has her yarn in a couple of yarn stores, in Bliss Yarns, which is in Tennessee, so just a little bit north of us. And then she has her yarn at Timmy VU in Gadsden, which is my personal local yarn store. So I'm going to be doing 2 designs in collaboration with her, 1 crochet and 1 knit. This is going to be the yarn that I'm going to use for the crochet design. It is going to be a crochet shawl, wrap, cowl situation. I'm definitely still working out the details, but this yarn is just a gorgeous fade. I am so excited about it. This one is my favorite. It's definitely not going to be the only design that I'm going to use this colorway in because it is just so beautiful. I love it so much, but this is the fade. The 3 colors are Caramel Popcorn, Sonorian Sunrise, and Sonorian Sunset. So these 2 are designed to go together, and then we picked this one because we thought it was a really beautiful transition as well, and I think it totally is. You can check her out on Instagram. I will link her profile down below. And yeah, definitely give her a follow and some love because her stuff is absolutely gorgeous. I love it all. And then I'm also going to be doing a knit design in this colorway, which is Into the Woods. So I'm not fully decided. I have gone back and forth so many times on whether to design a sock or like a sock pattern or a hat pattern. I don't know yet. I'm definitely still working that out, but it's really beautiful. And I'm super excited about it. I'm kind of, I don't know, I've gone back and forth so many times. I'm just not sure what to choose, but I think I'm going to kick it up and do some swatches and kind of see how that goes. But anyway, really, really love all of these, and I'm super excited for this new collaboration. And yeah, super, super excited about it. So that is it for Design Talk. Working on so many things per usual, but they're all good, they're all fun. And I am really grateful for all of them. So with that, let's talk about a little devotional, and then we'll hop into some news. I actually have something else to share, and then a life update. So for devotional today, I wanted to chat just for a minute about comparison. Now, this is, for me personally, a really hard subject to talk about. I have struggled with comparison for a very long time in many different aspects of my life, but today I just wanted to be a source of encouragement for y'all, and this is definitely something that I'm going to be talking about in future episodes too, because again, this is something that I could talk about for so many hours. But what I want to talk about specifically today is just that we are all unique and created with a specific purpose. Earlier this week, I was kind of, I don't know, finding myself in a rut of comparison just with, you know, trying to grow and trying to grow my channel and my Instagram page and reach more people and inspire others. And it's hard, you know, it's hard to get found, it's hard to grow. But instead of, you know, getting in that space of comparing yourself to others and wondering why, you know, this one person is growing so much faster or, you know, reaching so many more people, instead of getting in that rut, I chose to kind of encourage myself and ask God just to remind me that I am designed to offer something completely unique. And I'm completely different than anybody else, just like everybody else is completely different than anybody else in the world. We're all different. We're all unique. And that is what is so beautiful about humans and the way God has designed us. So whether you are in a situation similar to me on how, like maybe if you have a small business or if you are a young adult trying to figure out how to make your mark on the world, or if you are in a completely different season of life, I encourage you to stay confident in the person that God wants you to be. Instead of trying to compare yourself to others and to spend time worrying about things that don't matter in the long run, I encourage you to be grateful for the person that God has already designed you to be, and to be confident that you are where He wants you to be right now. Because even though it's hard for me to recognize that, I'm 100% certain that I am. You know, my situation is a lot different than those around me, but it's so important to stay confident in the person that He wants me to be versus the person that I would kind of imagine myself being, I guess. So set your eyes on Him. Set your eyes on things above. As cliche as it may sound, that's exactly what we're called to do. And so that is exactly what I encourage you to do today. So with that, I wanted to chat about one other thing before Life Update, and that is I am hosting a giveaway right now. So I posted a video on my YouTube channel yesterday announcing this giveaway. I'm going to link to it down below. Be sure to check it out. I'm super excited to gift one of y'all this prize. So if you haven't already, head over to that video and enter. I said I wanted to say a whole bunch of other words other than enter, but that's the word I need to say. Head over there and see how you can enter. There are 3 different ways. If you enter all 3 ways, you can triple your chances, or you can just choose one. So again, I'll link that video down below and make sure to check it out if you haven't already. So, a little bit of a life update. It has been a crazy past week. It's been a not so great weather week at all, but I am so grateful for the safety that God has provided. There were some tornadoes kind of around, just over the state and other areas. So if you are in one of those areas, my heart goes out to you. I hope you are safe and well and, you know, working on rebuilding and recovering from that situation. But yeah, tornadoes are scary. I am personally terrified of them. I hate the thought of everything about them. It's kind of one of those, weather is just, it's one of those things that is absolutely amazing. It really is. But it's also completely horrifying. The thought of, you know, the destruction that it can cause is just so scary. I have said for so many years now that when I move, I am moving north. I'm just taking away from the constant humidity and heat during the summer and the tornadoes and the spring and fall. Like, it's just not fun. And I know there is, you know, certain weather things that kind of happen all over the country, not just in Alabama, but yeah, I have a few sweet spots in my head that I've noticed a little bit lower in the, you know, crazy snow amounts and crazy rain amounts, and yeah, I have a few places that I am definitely looking into. But anyway, I pray that you are safe wherever you are weather-wise. Another thing that happened this week that was kind of crazy, we saved a little bunny. It was so sweet. So Reba, our kitty who I was talking about earlier this episode, she is a hunter. As much as I hate it, she is a hunter. She is an indoor-outdoor cat. We let her outdoors whenever she wants to, basically, and then we bring her in when it's dark. And it works really well. We can't really... Oops. There went a salt walker. We can't really help it because she meows constantly if she wants outside, so you just gotta let her. But earlier this week, I was walking outside. I think it was on Tuesday, I believe. Maybe, I don't know. I'm not entirely sure what day it was, but regardless, she was outside and I was outside walking and knitting. And it was like about to rain. So everybody was keeping an eye on the weather. And I saw her. She was in our neighbor's yard and she ran all the way across the road and she had something in her mouth. And so I like stopped walking, and Emily was out there. My sister, she was riding her bike. I said, Emily, does she have something? And so we both went ahead, and sure enough, she had a little bunny. And so we saved it. We got it from her. We actually took it inside. I wanted to keep it so bad. I'm not scared to admit it. I have wanted a bunny for so long. I feel like it needs to be the little official companion of the Graceful Tangle, or mascot. It needs to be a little bunny. I love them so much. But as much as I wanted to, keeping a wild bunny is not the thing to do. And we decided to let it out. It was in my room for like 10 minutes, and it hadn't moved. It was so scared, and really we just wanted to make sure that it was okay. And so once we realized that it was fine, we took it outside and we let it go. It took it a while to actually, like hop off from us, but it eventually did. And as much as it hurt my heart because I loved it so much, it had to be gone. I already had a name picked out. It's okay. I'm okay. One day, though, mark my words, I will have a pet bunny. I really will. I need a little pet that will sit beside me and not knit. The pet can't knit. I'm not going to expect that much. But sit beside me while I knit and, love me. I don't know. I need a little bitty animal like that. Not a fish. Like a animal that I can pick up and pet and comfort. I don't know. A bunny. That's what I would love to have. So, anyway. Let me know in the comments below if you have a bunny so that I can be jealous. No, not really. It's amazing if you have a bunny. I'm so happy for you. Anyway, I hope that you have enjoyed this episode. I can't believe we're at episode 45. It's crazy. We're getting so close to a year of being on YouTube, and that is absolutely amazing. So, I have some fun videos planned, so stay tuned for those. I hope that you have an amazing week, and I will catch you all next time. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. And then also check out all of the links in the description box below, because there is going to be a whole slew of great things to check out. Thank you so very much for watching, and I will see you all next time. Bye!